Hello everybody and welcome to the J72 Gaming channel. My name is Jacob, you can just call me Jay here. Today I wanted to show off every house in Everfall, which ones I think are the best out of each tier based off their looks, locations, and their general vibes. And if you're new to this channel, welcome. I usually make video games videos on games like The Isle and Path of Titans, but I've been enjoying New World so much, I've been having so much fun with this game, that I wanted to share some of the aspects of it that I'm enjoying the most with you guys. So in this series of videos, I want to show you all the houses in each settlement to hopefully let you find a place to call your own, or maybe help you decide if the housing system in this game is worth it enough for you to dive into the world of Eternum here in New World. In this second video of this series, we have Everfall, the main trading hub in my server, and honestly, my second favorite out of Monarchs, Everfall, Windsward, and First Light, the 4 starting cities. In these videos, we'll go over each house tier by tier, so tier 1 followed by 2, 3, and 4, and I'm going to order each one by the ones I find the coolest or most useful, saving the best ones for last. If you know which tier you want to buy and are just here to look at those, check the timestamp below. Alright dudes, make sure you sit back, kick back, and go grab a snack as we dive into each house here in Everfall. Let's do this. Okay, so first things first, like the other video here, let's take a look at the map before I head into the live gameplay section of this video. This here is the New World interactive map on the website Map Genie. Link below, of course. It's super useful for finding pretty much anything you need here in the world of Eternum. The map you can see here is Everfall with only the houses filtered, and the tier of each one is shown as well. We'll be using this map frequently to help you kind of get an understanding of the town a bit and where each house is. Alright, first up is actually tier 2 houses. As you can see here, Everfall doesn't have any tier 1s, so let's dive straight into tier 2 houses. Alright guys, so for tier 2 houses in Everfall, we have 3 options, and they're all pretty much on the west side of the city. So the worst one, in my opinion, is going to be this guy here. It's alright, it's actually pretty quaint looking, if I'm honest. It is right out on the western entrance, and inside is nothing too special, although this guy is killing it on points, so I'll give it to him. It's basically just your general 2-story house, so nothing very special on this guy. But the close proximity to the gate is its shining factor, I guess. Now, the second best tier 2 house is over here. You can see this is the crafting section with the looms and all that. And just right here, it's this red house. I like this location a little bit better than the one right by the entrance. But again, it's just a basic 2-story house here. With the downstairs and, you know, your generic second story. But in my opinion, if you're going to go for a tier 2 house here in Everfall and you don't mind not having a single story house, this one right here along the main road is the one that I'm going to recommend. Let's go ahead and hop in here and see what this guy has done with his place. So what I really like about this, even though it is just a single story house, is the backyard. I mentioned this in the Monarch's Bluff video, but the ability to have a large backyard usually comes with a high tier house. So the fact that you can get this large of a backyard with a tier 2 makes it the best option for tier 2s in Everfall, in my opinion. So for the tier 3 houses here in Everfall, we have quite the few options, honestly. It's looking like we have 6 options, with the majority of them being off in the west and one super secluded off in the east. So starting with the one that I think is the worst here, it's going to be the most northwestern one. Here you can see it's just a basic 3-story house. It does have close proximity to the smelter and all that, so if you like teleporting in for the smelter, this actually might be a good one for you. But if we go ahead and hop inside here, and I have to actually crouch because this player put they put a little box right there, or not a box, they have some pots and whatnot. But yeah, this one has a decent view of the smelter out its second story window, and that's probably its best feature besides this balcony that overlooks here. Honestly, all tier 3 houses in Everfall are fairly good. I just explored them all and they look pretty decent, but this one is going to take the worst position for me, which I think is saying something. So heading down Main Street here, we will approach our second worst, I guess, tier 3 house here, which is going to be this one here. This is yet another one of those basic single-story houses, but this one has a massive backyard. This is honestly one of the biggest backyards I've seen in the game. It's almost as big as the backyard that I have in my tier 4 house in Monarch's Bluff. So if you like decorating your backyard, and it has a decent view of the crafting section over there as well. But yeah, if you're a fan of crafting and setting up your backyard to look really cool, this might be the spot for you. Now, just leaving that house, its next door neighbor is actually a really, really cool house. And honestly, the next 4 of these houses that I'm going to show you are pretty much tied in my opinion. They're all really fantastic, and this one has the most interior space. So if you would like a lot of interior space with your house, this might be the one you want to go for. You can see down here, it's got the kind of the L-shaped lower deck, which is really cool. I like this area. It gives you a lot of height, and you can even put shelves up there and whatnot. So lots of space to work with here. And then upstairs isn't quite as big, but does give you a fairly decent amount of room to work with your bedroom, and has a fairly solid view out the window. All right, so leaving that house up there and going between the 2 houses, this is the last one I just showed you. Going through here, we'll enter this area here with the crafting section. This is the tier 2 house I showed you, and actually the 2 tier 3 houses are these ones right here. So you've got these 2 corner houses. Like I said, I think all of these are pretty much the same as far as my favorites, so we're gonna go ahead and look at this one first. What makes these ones really awesome is that they are 3-story, and they have both of them have decent views of the crafting area, and they both have very, very cool balconies that kind of look over the farmlands, which is pretty sweet. So, go ahead and show you guys the upstairs real quick, but it's just pretty much a basic 3rd story. Although this guy put his dogs on the beds with synchronized scratching, so there's that. And next door, we've got this one here. And here you've got your basic 1st story, although this one has different colors on each floor. So down there is kind of like darker, and then you get up here and it's yellow. The view out here is a little bit more unique. It's got the watchtower in the way, so whether or not you appreciate that aesthetic or think it gets in your way, that's up to you. And the 3rd story, like I said with the last one, is just your basic 3rd story. Now for the final tier 3 here, I want to show you guys kind of running up to it, because I think its approach is kind of one of the more interesting aspects of this house. It's going to be way up here, up at the top of this hill. It's this big yellow one that you can see pretty much from all of Everfall, right next to the church where the Templars are. And in here, it has the same layout as the other 2 I just showed you. So it's a basic 3-story house. The person here specifically has a lot of points, so pretty cool to see, although it's a lot of the purchased pirate stuff, which I'm not the biggest fan of. But it has a decent view over here of the plaza. You can see down Main Street to the trading, so you're going to see a lot of people running around. And the reason I saved this one for last, even though I think all the last 4 are fairly decent and pretty much the same based off of what you want, this one probably has the best view out of the back. So I would recommend this one probably the most, but again, the last 4 are all pretty much up to you. All right, folks, so for tier 4s in Everfall, we have quite the selection, honestly. We're going to have 7 houses here, and all of them are honestly very good. Generally speaking, Everfall has some pretty sweet houses, so you can't really go wrong with your options in this city. Bottom of the barrel, however, I am going to give to this red one here down in the south, mainly because of its view out of its balcony. You can see here it's got a fairly large front yard, which is pretty cool. That's going to be a consistent trend here in the tier 4 houses. They all have massive yards, which is pretty cool. But yeah, you can tell here that its view out of the back is kind of just a rock. So I'm going to have to give this the bottom of the barrel option for the tier 4. But the interior is your basic 3-story house, and still gives you plenty of space out in the front with that yard. So still not a bad option. Right across the street is going to be my other tier 4 low tier choice, and not really as much of a reason for putting it low tier as the other one. Like, it doesn't really have anything bad about it, other than the other houses that are the tier 4 options are just a little bit better. It does have this massive backyard, like I said. Large backyards are going to be a consistent trend, but the backyard's just kind of it's a little unique, right? It's kind of weird. Like, you can have this little hidey area out here, so you might find it quaint and cozy, up to you, but I think some of the other options are going to be a little bit better. As far as the interior here, it's going to be the kind of T-shaped bottom, as well as a small 2nd story. Heading back over here to the main entrance, or at least what I call. I'm from Monarch's Bluff, so I come through this main entrance all the time. We've got our tier 4 option right here, right on the corner. Go ahead and hop in here to Jace's. And Jace has set this place up fairly well. I do like what he's done with the place. It's got a very large backyard here, right in front of all of the workshops and stone cutters. So this has a pretty visible location as far as other people seeing your stuff. So if that's what you want to get in your house, go for that. Also does wrap around a little bit. Oh wait, I lied. I thought I wrapped around, but it doesn't let me through there. As far as the interior, it's going to be a basic 2-story, so not a whole lot of space inside, but that is a fairly large backyard. Moving on over here through the central plaza, past the inn and the trading center, we're going to have our next 3 options. And first one I want to show you guys is this house right here on the corner. Now this place here has quite the unique side lot as far as it just being an L shape. But the interior is simply gonna be just your basic 2-story. So not the hugest fan of this one. Honestly, I should have put this one at the bottom. But again, they're all pretty much more or less tied. Now the one after this that I want to show you is gonna be this guy here. And these next 3 in particular, I think, are easily the top 3. So the next 3 I show you can be considered the best houses in Everfall. This one here, I've seen a lot of people say that it's the best one because it's right in front of the trading area. You're going to have most eyes on you, and teleporting in right there is going to give you easy access to pretty much anything in Everfall. So as far as a fast travel location, very, very, very prime for that. Interior here, you're going to have your basic 2-story house. Go ahead and show what this guy's doing. This guy's actually done kind of like a maze, which is kind of cool, so that's kind of unique. And then as far as the backyard goes, has just kind of a cozy little side yard here. Lots of tall grass, which I'm not the biggest fan of because you can't really put like a good seating area here and make it look good. But you might be able to get some seats out over here, overlooking the forge and whatnot. Heading back around the corner here, past the 2 houses I just showed you, we're gonna have this guy here. Now, this guy is my personal favorite as far as yard goes. The next house is going to be my favorite for its view and just overall. But what is really cool about this yard is you can actually run almost an entire circle around the entire house. You don't really get that very often in houses here in New World, so that makes it fairly unique. And honestly, might be the biggest yard I've seen yet. The interior here is going to be, you know, just your basic little, 2-story, I believe? Yeah. Basic 2-story. So the interior is very small. There's a trade-off in New World. If you have a large yard, you're likely going to have a smaller house, and you're not going to find kind of a large yard with a large interior. So that leaves us with what I think is the best house, or at least, like I said, tied with those last 2. But this one is going to be up here, and I wanted to bring you along with the run up to it, just like I showed you with that yellow tier 3. It's going to be this red one here. These 2 are very isolated, and it kind of makes them a little bit special because of that. And what I like about this is it's got a little bit of everything. It's kind of off on its own. You can see 210 points, so this guy is going ham. But yeah, it's off on its own. It's got a fairly decent front yard. It's got a fairly decent backyard as well, with a decent view overlooking the forest and whatever that is. And upstairs is going to be a basic 2-story. But that seems to be pretty much par for the course with Everfall. So there you go, everybody. That's going to be my best houses and every house in Everfall, part of this series where I'm going through every single house here in every single settlement in New World. I'm a big fan of all these houses, and I'm having fun showing them off to you guys. Hopefully you guys are getting something out of it. If you guys don't mind, dropping a like and subscribing if you want to see more. I'm going to be having these videos coming out every 2 or 3 days as we go through all the settlements here. And we'll be starting off with the first 4 basic spots. So next up will most likely be Windsward. Then we'll see First Light. And we'll go out from there, probably going up into level ranges. Ending with, you know, the level 60 zones or whatnot, which I'm pretty excited for. In my opinion, I'm going to be living in Monarch's Bluff, Ebonscale Reach, and Reekwater. Ebonscale Reach and Reekwater are fantastic locations as far as the way they look. They're just much more grand than some of the other places. So yeah, if you want to join along that journey, make sure you subscribe and join the journey. All right, guys, that's going to be it for me. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day out here in Eternum, and until next time, peace out.